Hello friends, welcome back to the Common Sense Grandma. My name is Michelle, in case you're new here and you're not sure who I am or what my name is. Today we're going to make 5 freezer meals that are meant for the slow cooker, or some of them you can even put in your Instant Pot. And the reason I'm doing this is our youngest daughter is due to Hi friends, welcome back to the Common Sense Grandma. My name is Michelle, and today we are going to make 5 freezer meals that is meant for the slow cooker or Instant Pot. And the reason I'm doing this is our youngest daughter is due to deliver baby boy next month. And I like to give gifts that are common sense, how's that? Something that they can really use. They have 3 daughters already. They don't need a lot of things. And so I was thinking, what can I do that will make her life easier, especially after she delivers baby boy? And I thought, you know, food is always a good item to have. I know we have 4 kids, and I know what it's like to have to get dinner on the table, get meals made. When you're tired, you're trying to nurse your baby, you're just exhausted. I remember those days, and I just thought, what can I do to serve them? What can I do for them? I've always kind of maybe brought them food or something, but I thought this would be great for her to have in her freezer. She can just take it out the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and then put it in the slow cooker or Instant Pot the next day. So we have 5 recipes that we are going to make. This video will not be long. I already chopped everything. I even put, for the ones that have meat, I already put them in the Ziploc bags that are labeled. And I printed out all of the recipes, and I will link all of the recipes below in the description. I will also upload all of this to the blog, so you can also go there if you want to print it out from there. So the first one we're making is called Cool Ranch Shredded Chicken Tacos. And this is something that you can do like a burrito bowl, and you don't have to have a taco with it. You can eat it on rice. That is what my husband would prefer. He's Filipino, he likes his rice. And so I know that's how he would like to eat this also. And I was talking to my daughter about this, and she said, yeah, they actually kind of prefer burrito bowls, because also their 3 daughters, it's not always easy for little ones to eat tacos. And so if they can eat it in a bowl with rice and some other toppings around it, maybe some avocado, chopped tomatoes, salsa, that sort of thing. But this recipe is so simple. It calls for 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. So I have them here in the bag already. And then you just add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And you know, I'm kind of kicking myself because I had bought the clip things to hold the bags open, and I never used them. They were here in a drawer, and I think I donated them when I was cleaning out my kitchen. Shame on me, I should not have done that. I should have kept them, but that's the way it goes. So 3 tablespoons olive oil, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. What I did was I put all of my spices and seasonings over here ready to go. Back there I have 3 recipes, and I have 1 more over here. I like to be really organized when I cook. So then we have 1 taco seasoning packet. I buy mine in bulk from Azure Standard, or I make it myself. And then 1 dry ranch seasoning packet. I've made it before, but I'll be honest, if you guys have a Trader Joe's around you, this ranch seasoning blend is really, really good. So we're going to put, oh, that's chili powder, wrong one, taco seasoning. Okay, so we're gonna put in 3 tablespoons. And friends, you can make taco seasoning yourself so easily. You probably have everything in your cupboard. Just look up a recipe or buy it in bulk. And then we're gonna go with 3 tablespoons or 1 packet of ranch seasoning. And this ranch seasoning smells so delicious. Whoa, a little extra. I'll put some back in the jar. You can really smell the dill. Oh, smells so good. So all we have to do for this is just take out all the air and then, you know, get the seasonings all together. So 1 down, 4 to go. There's that one. Next, we're doing, this is a vegetarian dish here. It's called, it's not vegan because there is cheese. This one is called Tex-Mex Rice Casserole. And you just put everything into the bag except for the cheese. It calls for cheddar cheese and mozzarella. I didn't have plain cheddar. I had, I think it's, I don't know, Fiesta cheese. It's a mixture of 4 Mexican cheeses. So I put that in a separate bag. But the rest of this recipe, very, very easy. 2 cups of pre-cooked rice. So I put some rice in the rice cooker this morning. Hopefully it will come out. I actually wanted to measure it because I wasn't sure how much to, so I actually measured, which is unusual for me. I'm not the best at measuring. 1.5 cups of salsa. Well, I guess I could just, I'm gonna eyeball it. This is 2 cups, so a little bit less than the 2 cups. This is a mild salsa. I don't really think you could mess this recipe up. You can probably vary it if you would like. Okay, 4 ounces of green chilies, just a can of green chilies. 12 ounces of corn. I am using frozen. 19 ounces of black beans, rinsed and drained. I opened a jar of one of my home canned black beans. I used a pint, well, they're with the spoon, with black beans on the floor. I'll have to call the dogs in later. I miss my Lhasa Maltese. He passed away. It's been almost 2 months, and he was the scavenger who ate everything on the floor for us. Okay, it calls for cilantro chopped. I'm not putting cilantro in here. I'm gonna just have my daughter put cilantro on however much she wants when she makes it. I think that that would just be easier. Now it also calls for 14 ounces diced tomatoes drained, so just 1 can. It just occurred to me, I have tomatoes sitting right here from my garden. I could have just cut them up, but that's okay. Now we're gonna do the seasonings. So we have, let's go with cumin, chili powder, salt and pepper. I don't want to miss anything. I like to get it out here. That's it. Okay, so a teaspoon of cumin. Teaspoon of chili powder. This is kind of a mild chili powder. Half a teaspoon salt. 1/4 teaspoon pepper. That is it. Very, very simple. So this is called Tex-Mex Rice Casserole. And so you're just going to put this in your crock pot. It says thaw overnight in the fridge, empty large bag into a casserole dish. Top with cheese from the smaller bag. Okay, so you could do crock pot or you can just bake it. I actually, recently, my niece and nephew gave us a crock pot casserole thing. That would be perfect with this. I will mix this up a little bit more later. And of course, I'm going to freeze them flat. That will be the easiest thing to do, put the cheese there. Okay, let's go with the next one. This one is a lentil chili. It is actually a vegan dish. Quite a few ingredients here. It's a vegetarian lentil chili that has sweet potatoes in it. And I add sweet potatoes to chili a lot, or to soups, things like that. It's always, you know, it's really, really good. It also calls for 1/2 cup of corn, which I forgot to get out. Let me get that. Okay, with the rest of the corn. All right, so dump all of the ingredients except for the spinach. And I actually have spinach spinach in the freezer, I buy a big container of spinach, you know, fresh, and then a lot of times we don't finish it quick enough, so I just put them in Ziploc bags. So a tablespoon of olive oil, just gonna eyeball that. 2 yellow onions diced, 4 stalks of celery minced, and then bell pepper. I'm gonna have to get those bag holders. It does call for a lot of onion, but I know when I make, they're more on the floor. I am messy today. That's okay. My floor needs vacuumed and steamed anyway. I forgot what I was saying. I do not know. Okay. Garlic. We're using people call this jarlic, I guess, because it's from the jar. That's okay. All right. Bell pepper. I was wondering why I had this chopped bell pepper in here. 1 red bell pepper, 1 green. I just used red. Go with what you have. Here is our sweet potatoes. Our lentils. I used a mixture of, let's see, we've got black lentils, green lentils, brown lentils. Friends, if you've never tried the black lentils, they are delicious. I try some sometime. I get my lentils, if possible, from Azure Standard because I can get organic. Now it calls for corn. I don't know how this is all going to fit in here. 1/2 cup. I'm actually going to make some of this for our house too, have it ready to go. Yes, I can get everything out when it's time, but this is a lot easier. Let's go with the seasonings before I put in the wet ingredients. So, a tablespoon of chili powder. Seems like a lot to me. Teaspoon of cumin. Do you say cumin or cumin? I used to always say cumin, but I hear people say cumin. I don't know which way is right. Smoked paprika. A teaspoon. Teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon pepper. This is going to make a lot. Okay, 1 can of crushed tomatoes. It says 750 milliliters. I'm assuming that's what this is. It says 28 ounces. I was trying to do the math. And I even have here, I have a measuring magnet on my refrigerator. And it says 237 milliliters is 8 ounces. So I'm assuming this is very close. Maybe an extra 4, but that's okay. And then the vegetable broth. Of course, you could use chicken broth, which is what I was going to do. And then I thought, well, most of my chicken broth is either canned or in the freezer. I would think that this would go down. It's bubbling. It will all fit once it goes down. This is kind of scary. Not sure how this is going to do. That is very full. I'm just going to close it right now and set it aside here so it does not spill. And keep it out of the way. I know this will certainly go down. Yeah, it's already going down. Okay, there we go. Now, the next 2 recipes are using pot roast. This one is to make a Cuban sandwich. And I know in a lot of Cuban sandwiches they use pork, but in our family we don't really eat pork. I actually grew up with pigs on our ranch, but I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. just not something that we really like. So we're using pot roast. And this one does call for pot roast. So a 2 to 3 pound chuck roast is in here. Then I have 1 onion and a whole bell pepper. Onion is sliced. Bell pepper is supposed to be sliced. I accidentally chopped it. I don't think that's going to matter. 1.5 teaspoons of cumin. Again, cumin seems to be in everything. This is going to be really good. Okay. Cumin. 2 whole beef bouillon cubes. I don't have any. I use this if I really need it. I usually use Better Than bouillon that's in the refrigerator, but I thought this would be easier. Teaspoon of oregano. Where's my oregano? Here it is. Well, just dump some in. It smells so good. And then a tablespoon of minced garlic. Again, we're gonna go with this one, make it easy. Heaping tablespoon, how's that? And then in this little bowl here, I have 2 tablespoons of fresh orange juice, a whole lime juice, and 2 tablespoons of water. And that is it. So when after you cook this in your slow cooker, or this would be fine in the Instant Pot. It would go very quickly. It'd probably go 1.5 hours, maybe on the Instant Pot. This one is for sandwiches. So you get a package of buns, whatever buns you like, and then serve it with mayonnaise on the buns and avocado. And maybe there's some other toppings you could do. My husband would want this on rice. So we will make that on rice sometime. Okay, 1 to go. And this one is a copycat Texas Roadhouse pot roast. What my daughter did was she went on Pinterest and just chose some different meals for to have. All of us have our Pinterest, right? And we choose meals. But I thought, when I looked at her board, I thought, oh, these are great. In fact, I made one last night for dinner, tikka masala. And my husband was so happy because he's been wanting that. And I said, I know I can make that. Both of my daughters make it all the time. I just never have. Just trying to clean up a little bit here. Everything will end up in the dishwasher eventually. So, it says label 2 freezer bags. So I've got the gallon and the quart. And place the chuck roast in 1 freezer bag, then place onion, bell pepper, celery, and garlic in the other. In the quart size bag. Okay, trying to figure this out. Oh, so why don't they just put this, weird, okay, whatever. I would put it all together. I don't know why they need to be in 2 different bags. I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to put the vegetables in here and the wet ingredients in the other bag. Again, I am a rule breaker, but that's okay. Because the other way just doesn't make sense to me. So I labeled this pot roast, Roadhouse pot roast bag number 2 in case something gets mixed up. So in here, we are going to put 1/2 cup of tomato sauce, which is 1/2 can. This one is 1/2 cup. Just eyeballing. Maybe a little bit of extra barbecue sauce, because why not? And we'll put the seasonings in here. So we have garlic again, 2 cloves, beef bouillon again, 2 teaspoons, or 2 bouillon cubes, however you do your bouillon. What else? Salt, 1 teaspoon. Pepper, 1 teaspoon. I'm not going to put that much because they have 3 little girls and that would be a lot. And then half a teaspoon of dried thyme. Don't you just love the smell of thyme? I need to plant some. It smells so good. I put thyme in a lot of things. That doesn't fit. That's okay. And then half a cup of water. A little too much. That's fine. There we go. So what I will do with these, I will make sure I get all of the air out of them. And I'm going to reprint all of these for her so they're clean. And I was trying to think, how could you put this in here without it getting all icky? Well, if you have the small sandwich bags, not freezer bags, but just these small ones here. You could just fold it up and put it inside, especially if you're giving this as a gift. I think that that would be a very nice thing to do. And that's it. We just did 5 freezer meals, and I think this is a great gift. You know, if you have maybe someone at church who lost a family member and you need to bring them a meal, instead of bringing the cooked meal, you could do something like this. Or for other mamas, maybe from your church that have had babies, or as you know, a family that just needs some extra little bit of love, tender care, why not bless them with this? And then of course, do this for yourself. I'm actually gonna spend a day and fill up our freezer. I went through our freezer the other day and just took a few things out, not very much, just a couple of things. And then I also have probably 5 bags of tomatoes that I need to process so to free up some more space in the freezer, because I've got to go put these out in the freezer in a few minutes. But I hope all of you are having a lovely week. I appreciate each of you. And if you would like, please like and subscribe. That would really help me out. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, to have a YouTube channel. It's a way for me to express myself and do something fun. You know, us mamas and grandmas, we kind of spend our whole life taking care of our families. And for the most part, I've been a stay-at-home mom or my husband's business partner. We've done a lot of businesses, and I've always been his helpmate. And this is just something that's kind of fun for me to spend some time with you. I appreciate that. For myself, I watch mostly YouTube. There's a lot of ladies that I subscribe to that I just really appreciate. And it's just a wonderful community where we can come together and share our ideas for our homemaking, for feeding our families, and for serving. So I love each of you, and we will see you again next week. Bye.